Ugochukwu, or how does Ugochukwu want to compare himself with this great achiever? Why does he speak despicably of Wike, a man that has shown and proven himself in all ramifications of life? How? Because he has to do the bidding of his master? Because he needs to justify the filthy lucre that they give to him? And then he abandons his state, abandons the people that nominated, that appointed, and that elected him to the green chambers, and is interested in River State. I haven't seen the link. There is no link between River State and Imo State, in terms of even in constituency and whatever. Our boundary is somewhere in Omademe, Omerelu. So from his village to Omerelu is way over 2 hours. So what is his interest? Other than that, he is a hireling of the state government to see what damage he could do. So we use this opportunity to condemn in absolute terms that criminal attitude of him, and those who he flaunts as his colleagues will no longer tolerate it. Will take him to the cleaners even more when if he does anything more, because I have a dossier on him. I have a dossier on him. I repeat again, I have a dossier on him. On the case of Daniel Nwanyanwu, Daniel Nwanyanwu is a serial political failure. He's a serial political failure. And without what gives him the impetus, why he even imagines that River State will be a place to fall back. I'm not aware that is Zenith Labour Party in River State. I'm not aware. I don't know if you have had that kind of thing. Zenith Labour Party, which he flaunts himself as national chairman. He was national chairman of Labour Party. He was booted out. He was booted out. And there were allegations of financial malfeasance and embezzlement and all that. So when the kitchen became too hot for him, he opted out and went to form what they call Zenith Labour Party. Another angle where he thinks he will siphoning money. You know, those days, federal government will always fund parties. So he had gone there to carve a niche for himself. And ask yourself and ask him, how many assembly members in Nigeria candidated under Zenith Party? Do we have any Zenith Party, Labour Party member in the House of Representatives or the Senate? Do we have any governor of any state that candidated under Zenith Labour Party in Nigeria? Is the president of Nigeria a candidate of the Zenith Labour Party of Nigeria? Now he has left all the trappings of failure that are typical of him. And his business again is now another hireling for River State government. It's unthinkable. It's just unthinkable. You know, the way you make your bed is how you lie on it. The place of River State has become vulnerable. They have become susceptible to all manner of people who want to rip off. Otherwise, what is the business of another Igbo man from Amuzu, Amimo, Ikeduru local government area of River State? Of Imo State. Amuzu, Amimo, Ikeduru, LGA of Imo State. What is his business with any word in River State? Don't they talk about River State as a state, other than pecuniary interest? We watched him on television the other day, when in his bid to cast aspersions and derogate on our leader, His Excellency Ezenwonyeson Wike, CONGSSROS, Minister of Federal Capital Territory. I watched him, and immediately showed his hands. He was saying, "Oh, Mr. President, I want to tell you that in 2027, Nyesom Wike will contest election against you." So he had become a soothsayer, because he had looked at his crystal ball, his own crystal ball, to foresee and foretell what will happen in 2027. And to show his hands clearly, he said to Mr. President, the person to do business with in River State is Fobara. Has he not shown his hand? He has shown his hand. Who brought him? Who conscripted him? The person to do business in River State is Fobara. I'm using his but for us it's Fobara, but he said it's Fobara. That's how much he knew his name. But it was not him talking. It's the money in his pocket. River's money in his pocket. I was talking. And so we also condemn in absolute and concrete terms the attitude of this ancient and medieval meddlesome interlopers and warn them to be far away from River State. We will not do business with them. Let the rudderless government continue to do business with them. It will not avail them. We will not tolerate it. And if they go further than what they are doing, we will also continue to take them to the cleaners. So we felt we should address these two hirelings. The other issue to address is the issue of the decisions of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court judgment. The Court of Appeal, in a case instituted by Right Honorable Martins Chike Amehule and 26 others, versus the state, the Court of Appeal was clear. The Court of Appeal granted all the prayers before them by the appellant, that is Martins Amehule led the state, and gave a judgment, consensus judgment, 3/3 in this sense, and said that all the actions taken by both Justice C.N. Wale and something Q or something, yes, that they were in error. That in the case of Wale, it was a case of assuming jurisdiction on a matter that you ought not to handle. That dismissed it. It's simple principle of law. It's so commonsensical that you should know that if you don't have jurisdiction on a matter, you don't venture. One of my laws on that table, on that judgment table, described this as an effort in futility. And the court said you don't have jurisdiction. And so whatever you did, you on your own. You didn't follow the law. On the issue of Q, I think the proper way to define it is the same way Abiola, in his plethora of proverbs, he would say you cannot abort a baby that has been delivered. He also said that you cannot shave someone in his absence. So that it was a case of shaving someone in the person's absence. And the court frowned at it and said that the principles of law, the principles of jurisprudence do not support such activity. And they nullified all they did. And the court went ahead to say, in their CTC, I'm sure you've read it, they made 3 points. But the most important thing to express here, or to state here, is the fact of status quo ante bellum. It was not status quo ante, or status quo, but they say status quo ante bellum. Please Google what that means. Now you should return to the situation before hostility started, before any court matter at all, took place. And they should return back, status quo ante bellum. And what you see there would have been those pictures and videos of the governor in the company of the speaker attending occasions. So what other interpretation does anyone have that ugochukwu is the one interpreting and saying how he binds and how he does not bind? And you should be able to ask yourself, what is this man's interest other than pecuniary? It does not concern his state. He's not from River State, I keep saying. So what is his business? He was hired. He was conscripted. He was recruited by somebody who does not have solution to problems to come and do the dirty job. But for us, it has failed, and it will continue to fail. So the Court of Appeal judgment was clear, unambiguous. Go back to what it is, or what it was, before hostilities started. It's called status quo ante bellum. That is it. On the Court of Appeal, now you still see that in spite of the Court of Appeal's decision, you still see 3 persons who call themselves an assembly and are still funded by River State government to continue to cause trouble in the state. In other words, they are in contempt of the judgment of the Court of Appeal. Let me talk about the Supreme Court judgment to show you the level of disrespect for the Constitution and the law in Nigeria. It is only in River State that persons flaunt themselves and call themselves caretaker, whatever. I was told today that one of them that was appointed chairman was boasting that the revenue of council from the federal allocation will still come to him that he will manage. I read, I don't know whether it is true, that there was an interface between the governor and heads of local government, where he told them, I don't know, social media can do all manner of things, but we also need to bring it to the fore. Where he told them that they should, when the money comes, they should allow the caretaker people access to the funds and blah, blah, blah. And I'm told that one of them was reasonable enough to say, yes, if you are given this instruction, please go to the press about it. Go and do a broadcast. And finally, they agreed that they will reconvene the meeting and all that. As I read that, I don't know whether it is true. You are the media people. You will know. You tell us whether it actually happened. But whether it happened or not, whether it was concocted by any means possible, the truth of the matter is that the Supreme Court had outlawed any nomenclature other than elected officers and persons into council. And they cited clearly the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Section 7. You can go and read it and see what the law is. The judgment of the Supreme Court have been applauded by even enemies of government. You would have seen that Mr. President, in his renewed hope agenda mantra, or in strict followership of the renewed hope agenda, had taken power away from an infinitesimal minority and given power to the people. That's what it is. That election into the local government council will not be as appointed hitherto. That the people should elect who their governor, their chairman would be. It was impossible because with the financial dependence of local government on the state, you must do the bidding of the governor. Else, the governor will dissolve the council and nothing will happen. But today, we have had financial autonomy for local government via the judgment of the Supreme Court. We have had partly political autonomy on the side of the local government. The reason I say partly is that the governors are no longer at liberty to dissolve any local government council that they feel isn't working in tandem with their own motive. But we think that there's still a lot to do, or just a few others to do. The issue of election into office should no longer be the responsibility of state independent electoral commissions, because the system is already skewed. The governors will use it as another means of getting back what they feel they have lost. Because they formed the RISEC, the SEC, I'm sorry, when I say RISEC, I'm talking about Rivers State. They formed the State Independent Electoral Commission and give them handouts. I was chief of staff, I gave handouts. I gave. Elections could be written inside chief of staff's office. It was done so in my time. We did so. We'll write the results and hand over to the commission. They will their business is going to go and announce. And of course, after announcing the results, if you feel aggrieved, you will present before the tribunal. The tribunal is as set up by the state government. They also have their own handouts. Now, the appeal to whatever decision the tribunal takes is at the state high court. They will also have their handout to do. So what will you do as? You will accept your fate. And it is the reason why in all states where they have conducted election, all the positions were won by the governor's own party. Does that suggest democracy? It doesn't. So we're also using this opportunity to plead with the National Assembly to immediately, either by resolution or howsoever, remove the issue of election of local government leadership from the hands of the State Independent Electoral Commission. Let INEC, a body saddled with conduct of elections, be responsible for all elections in Nigeria, so that the grounds will be free, fair, and credible. You're already aware of my complaint concerning the RISEC and the activities here. At that time, I was complaining as party. And a system that has started in that manner will certainly tell you that, look, the end is already known. You can know the end from the beginning. So, but if you have an independent electoral commission conducting local government election, now you will see, more people presenting interest. Otherwise, under any state independent electoral commission, it is by selection. What will you care? Why will you go and contest election and spend money when you know you have already lost ahead of time?